You were lied to. Not with a fake ad. Not with a shady handshake deal. You were lied to the slow way, through silence. Through omission. Through a system that knew exactly what was coming and decided you didn't need to know. Diesel trucks are disappearing. And the people selling them to you right now are fully aware of it. Let me show you what's actually happening. Walk into any dealership today and ask about a diesel half-ton. Watch what happens. The salesman pauses. He checks inventory. He comes back and tells you they're hard to get right now. Maybe he steers you toward a gas model. Maybe he mentions a hybrid option with a smile that's just a little too rehearsed. That's not a supply chain issue. That's a strategy. Because here's what they're not telling you. You're not just buying a truck. You're buying into a powertrain that the industry has already decided to phase out. You're purchasing the last generation of something. And the moment you drive off that lot, the clock starts ticking on everything that comes after. The resale market, the parts availability, the repair network, the fuel infrastructure. All of it is quietly being wound down while you're still making payments. Here's where it actually started. In 2022, the EPA introduced Tier 4 final emission standards with updated enforcement timelines targeting heavy-use diesel engines. Then California's CARB regulations, which now influence over 17 other states, began targeting light and medium-duty diesel trucks with restrictions so aggressive that several manufacturers started internal reviews of their diesel programs within months. Ford quietly discontinued the diesel option on the F-150 in 2023. Not with a press conference. Not with a farewell tour. They just stopped offering it. One model year it was there. The next, it wasn't. Ram's 1500 EcoDiesel is hanging on by a thread. GM's Duramax lineup is shifting resources toward electric platforms faster than their own marketing department is admitting publicly. This isn't speculation. This is in the earnings calls. This is in the regulatory filings. This is in the internal memos that get summarized in automotive trade publications that most truck buyers never read. Now ask yourself who benefits from you not knowing this. The dealerships need to move current inventory. They have diesel trucks on lots right now that are about to take a serious hit in long-term desirability. Every diesel unit they sell today is a unit they don't have to discount tomorrow. So they sell it to you with confidence, with enthusiasm, with a financing package that makes it feel like a smart decision. The manufacturers need their transition numbers to look clean. If diesel demand drops slowly, they can point to shifting consumer preferences rather than admitting they engineered the exit. It protects them from liability. It protects their brand narrative. It keeps the story tidy. And the fuel industry? They're already hedging. Major diesel infrastructure investment in rural markets has been quietly declining since 2021. Not dramatically. Just enough that in 10 years, the map of reliable diesel stations looks very different from what it looks like today. This isn't incompetence. This is a coordinated wind down. And you are being managed through it. Think about what this actually means on the ground. You buy a 2024 diesel truck today. You pay the premium, because diesel has always commanded a premium. Somewhere between $3,000 and $8,000 more than the comparable gas configuration. You do it because you tow, because you haul, because you've run the numbers on fuel economy, and the diesel math has always made sense over a long ownership cycle. Except the long ownership cycle is the problem now. In 5 years, the resale value on that truck is going to reflect a market that's moved on. Buyers in 2029 are going to look at a diesel option the way buyers today look at a V8 luxury sedan. Interesting, maybe even appealing, but complicated. Hard to justify. A little risky. In 7 years, you start feeling it at the service level. Technicians certified on modern diesel systems become rarer. parts for emissions components, DEF systems, EGR valves, DPF filters, get caught in the same supply squeeze that already makes certain diesel repairs a months-long nightmare. The repair bill for a clogged diesel particulate filter is already averaging over $2,000 at dealerships. That number goes up when the expertise goes down. And if you're in a state that adopts California's emission standards, which more are doing every legislative cycle, you may find yourself holding a truck that requires expensive modifications just to stay street legal in your own county. That's not a hypothetical. That's the trajectory. So here's what smart diesel owners are already doing. Call it the Powertrain Pivot. First, if you already own a diesel truck and you're within 3 years of the end of your loan, you act now, not later. The resale window on late-model diesel trucks is still strong. 2024 and 2025 are likely the last years where diesel commands a true market premium at trade-in. Every month you wait narrows that window. Second, if you're in the market for a work truck and diesel has been your default, you run the actual towing and payload numbers against the new gas V8 configurations and the emerging hybrid options. The 2024 and 2025 gas platforms have closed the torque gap significantly. The Ford 7.3 Godzilla, Ram's Hemi with e-torque, GM 6.6 gas. These are not the fuel-hungry underpowered alternatives they used to be. The math has changed. Third, if you genuinely need diesel for your application, you buy used, not new. A 2019 or 2020 diesel with low miles gives you the powertrain performance without the premium depreciation curve that's coming for new diesel purchases. You let someone else absorb the first wave of value loss. Fourth, you start paying attention to your state's emissions legislation calendar. Not because you're political, because it directly affects what you can legally operate and what you can sell. This is basic ownership intelligence that most truck buyers ignore completely. The truck owners who are going to come out ahead over the next decade are not the ones who were the most loyal to a particular powertrain. They're the ones who treated their truck like a financial asset and paid attention when the market sent signals. Diesel sent a signal. The manufacturers heard it. The dealers heard it. The regulators certainly heard it. The question is whether you heard it in time. And diesel is just the beginning. Because the same quiet phase-out strategy being used on diesel engines? It's already being deployed on something most truck owners consider completely untouchable. That's a video for another day. But if you own a gas V8, you might want to stay close.